Iowa has hired Tim Lester to be its new offensive coordinator. Background on Tim Lester is pretty straightforward, right? He was a MAC championship quarterback at Western Michigan and a 4-year starter. My favorite factoid about him is that his degree is in mathematics. Don't see that from a football coach too often, let alone a football player. Coached at the high school level, the D3 level, the D2 level, FBS, and NFL levels. He's actually coming as from the Green Bay Packers as an offensive analyst to be the coordinator at Iowa. And his only 10-win season as a head coach was vacated. My man was coaching at Elmhurst in the College Conference of Illinois in Wisconsin. They won 10 games and had all 10 wins vacated because they had broken NCAA financial aid rules, because Elmhurst is a Division III football program and they ain't got no scholarships in Division III. So you got to come up with some creative ways to get guys through the program. Well, NCAA found that they had violated. And in those violations, the only 10-win season that he had just went bye-bye. Only conference championship they had went bye-bye. But the last time he was an offensive coordinator at this level, meaning the Power 5 level, he was at Syracuse in 2015. And that team went 4-8. But the silver lining here is scored 27.2 points per game. And you know what? If Brian Ferentz could have scored 27.2 points per game, he'd still be the offensive coordinator at Iowa. That's what they're asking for. They're asking for 25 a game. And this man gave them 2.2 more 9 years ago at Syracuse when his quarterback was Eric Dungey. Now, if you remember Eric Dungey like I remember Eric Dungey, that man was really great in a rock fight. And that's what Iowa wants to be. Iowa wants to be in rock fights, all right? They want to win games 7-3. They want to win games 10-7. And Tim Lester gives them an opportunity to do just that. But I'm more incensed by Kirk Ferentz's categorization of what he was looking for in his offensive coordinator. Now, Kirk Ferentz has been a head coach at Iowa for 25 years, or this is the 25th year, all right? And he's won some football games, and doggone it, Iowa has been good. However, I find it funny that the quote is, we have won a few games. I know sometimes we all forget about that. I probably wouldn't be standing here after 25 years if that weren't the case. And complimentary football is the best way to win here, in my opinion. Also, complimentary football, what does that mean? To Ferentz, it just means don't turn the ball over. The quote, you've got to respect the ball. Ball security is critical. We got away with it in 2009 a little bit, but there are certain things that are paramount. First of all, throwing one of the greatest Iowa football teams to not win a championship under the bus, I did not expect. All right? Like that 2009 team with Ricky Stanzi, a.k.a. Ricky Sixes, that team won 11 games. That team finished number 7 in the final AP poll. But the thing that Kirk Ferentz is so mad about is that Ricky threw 15 interceptions to 17 touchdowns. All right? Now, in Ricky's defense, 3 of those interceptions were returned for touchdowns. So, I mean, you know, is it glass half full or the glass half empty? It's funny. It's funny because the best offensive football team I can remember Iowa putting on is the one that Kirk Ferentz wants to reference when he says this is not who we want to be. All right, I understand. If it was up to Kirk Ferentz, we play defense and we punt the ball. And you know what? Defense has been outstanding, and he's got maybe the best punter that we have seen since Ray Guy going into the NFL, right? He has a Broyles Award winner at his defensive coordinator spot in Phil Parker, and we thought that Phil Parker could have won the Broyles Award each of the last 3 years, right? Because what they have been doing defensively is phenomenal. And that defense is the reason they made the Big Ten title game against Michigan, okay? And then you got to see why Deacon Hill ain't it, right? However, if Tim Lester can get just the kind of play that Cade McNamara showed in 2021 at Michigan out of him at Iowa, we're talking about Iowa, again, being a top 10 program deep into the season when people are getting found out and where your defense really does have to step up in a real way to stop other offenses that are getting into gear. I also just kind of want to point this out, all right? It's not just they went 11-2. It's not just that they finished number 7 in the final AP. It's that they got wins against Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan, and an Orange Bowl win against Georgia Tech back when Georgia Tech was good. And Kirk Ferentz is going, we turn the ball over too much. in 09. Remember in 09. Remember something that happened 15 years ago that's going into who he's going to hire to be his offensive coordinator in 2024. Like, I can't imagine that Iowa fans would be looking at somebody, say, like Tommy Rees, who didn't have a job, and be like, hey, maybe that dude can help us. Maybe that dude can modernize the offense. Maybe that guy can turn us into the kind of program that can score 30, 35 points in a game. Maybe. We could see. And Kirk Ferentz going, I don't want that. No. What I want is for you to run the football, get us into third and short. You convert it, great. If you don't, defense will take over. It's fine. Just don't give the ball to the other team, and we'll be fine. Again, that's Iowa football. That's who they want to be. That's who Kirk Ferentz wants to be. It's a man who went out of his way to say, I don't think the college football playoff is a great thing because it puts an emphasis on playing for the national championship, and that ain't, to him, what college football is about. It's about beating Iowa State. It's about being decent in your conference. It's about making the Big Ten title game. And as long as that's who Iowa wants to be, that's who they're going to be. But if you want to take a step toward being the kind of team that can win a national championship, I don't know that just avoiding takeaways is going to be your recipe for success in an age where we have shown you got to be able to score, and you got to be able to score often if you expect to play for a national championship.
If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.